Hello friends, today we are going to talk about something super important to us, probably something that if you haven't already, you really want to do. So today we're going to talk about how to find a fan community, and then later in our next video, we're going to talk about the artist side of that and how to build a fan community. Yes. So if you're an artist, you can check out that video dropping next week. But today, we're going to talk about all the ways that you as a fan can find friends within your fandom.
As we all know, a lot of this really came about, there's been fan clubs, there's been fans for centuries now, but really what birthed, I feel like, this rabid fandom was social media. So first, we're going to kick it off with talking about how some fans operate on the different social platforms, and Carlin is a little master at Twitter, and so she's going to talk to us about Twitter and how fandoms operate on there.
So Twitter, well, I guess now it's X, but we refuse to call it X. Anyways, Twitter, I think, has been a really huge part of connecting fans all over the world and even like the country. These are things that I have done to find friends on Twitter. Like literally half of my friends are from Twitter. My two roommates I met on Twitter. So I consider myself an expert on this topic. The first thing that you're gonna wanna do to find people who are in the same fandom as you is to follow people who have Stan accounts. Most of the time they will follow you back. If they don't, a lot of times people will have these things called cards in their bios or like in their pinned tweet or something. And this is basically just like a little mini website that people build out, and it says like their roles for who they follow back, who can follow them, and they also have like a list of their stans and a list of their mutuals or like people who they casually listen to, stuff like that. So a lot of times it'll be like, do not enter if you are under 18. So like obviously if you're over 18, you don't want to interact with a minor. It's not good. But also too, like if you're anti like any of my stans, like don't interact with me. Yeah, that's like a common thing.
Fans don't put up with hate within the fandoms on Twitter, on any of the social media platforms, honestly. They'll just block and delete you.
Yeah. If they have a card, be sure to read it before you follow them to make sure that they want you there and they want to be friends with you, because if you're anti any of their stands, they will block you. Next, I think that this is just like kind of common sense, but just don't be afraid to DM someone on Twitter and ask to be their friend. Most of the time they will return that energy because everyone wants to have like mutuals and make friends on Twitter. Like literally just like cold DM them. I guess.
And don't be afraid to like comment on their posts and interact with other fans, especially within these big fandoms who have huge fan accounts. Like of course they can't follow everyone who follows them. But if you're interacting within the threads and interacting with the replies from other fans to those tweets, that's a great way to meet new people too.
This being said, please be careful when you are doing this. A lot of times, like I've never experienced it being like someone who says they're one thing and is not. Catfishing. I've never experienced catfishing on like Twitter, especially within like fandom. However, please be careful and don't give out personal info to anyone unless you like know for sure that they are the person that they say they are.
Met them in person.
Yeah, and you trust them and all of that. Before you even switch over to like phone numbers, like I would ask for their other socials, especially like Instagram, because it's way easier to tell if they're a real person or not. I would also FaceTime them before you meet them in person. I would also ask like your other friends on Twitter who they're friends with. And be like, hey, do you think they would like want to be my friend? And they would probably be like, yeah, of course, I can like introduce you. That's how I met a lot of my friends. Also, a good way to meet other people is to ask any of your mutuals. If you don't know what a mutual is, it's someone who follows you and someone that you follow as well. So, your mutuals. This is some stan vocabulary. An oomph is also important vocabulary, which stands for one of my followers. So this can be a mutual, or it can just be someone that follows you but you don't follow them back, but usually an inf is like kind of the same as a mutual. You can ask any of your moots if they are going to the same show as you so that you can meet up with them and have a friend there. I've met so many of my mutuals at shows, and it is always the best feeling when you finally get to hug them. I met one of my best friends through selling and buying tickets on Twitter. We're gonna make a whole separate video on that.
Carlin is the master of that. I did not know how to do that, but she taught me how to not get scammed by creepy people on Twitter.
Yeah, so one of my best friends, she DMs me. I was looking for a ticket to Louis Nashville 2022, so his first tour, and she DMs me and is like, hey, are you still looking for a ticket? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, okay, well, I found this girl that's selling, but she will only sell them in a pair, and I'm also looking for one, so like, do you want to go? And I was like, yeah, sure. And we just got to talking, and then like became really close friends, and ended up going to the show together. And then she ended up like literally staying the night at my house after the show. Nice. And then we've like literally gone to like almost every show together since.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So sweet. You really can meet some incredible friends through fandom. So Twitter was definitely, I feel like, the first big like fandom platform of social media that fans got on. Of course, there were MySpace. That was like bigger for artists, I feel like, than the fans though. And then you had Tumblr too. Yes. It's still around, but I feel like not as relevant within fandom as Twitter is. Twitter's really the number one, I'd say, social media for fandoms.
Good. I think it's way easier to meet people on there.
Yeah. But then we also have other platforms like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook that still do have a lot of fans on there. So first we'll talk about Instagram. A lot of fan accounts have been created on Instagram over the past like 10 years. And some of them have been around since literally Instagram started, which is super cool. Make sure to check out our Behind the Fan series where we interview fans behind these big fan accounts. But I feel like Instagram is a great way that people get like their news on these artists and what they're up to. Again, here, don't be afraid to DM people. I feel like DMing on Instagram is way easier than Twitter because of you just never know with all those restrictions and settings on Twitter. But with Instagram, it's really easy to DM people and make friends over your favorite artist. And it's also a lot easier to tell if they're a real person. Yeah. So majority of the time, maybe they have a fan account, but usually if people have a fan account, they also have a personal account. And so again, be safe. This is the internet. They are strangers, but we can still make friends with them. So just do your homework. Make sure you know that they're a real person. This is also a great way too to like meet people who are going to the same shows as you. So if a fan account, is based like in the US, maybe find out which shows they're planning to go to if they're having meetups beforehand. It's a great way to kind of get involved, but then also end up meeting these fans in person too. And then with TikTok, it's been super interesting to see how fandom has like come on to TikTok, because I really feel like it started with edits. Like that is the number way I think that fandom shows up on TikTok. Then we have like the whole Taylor Swift like Easter egg eras. Fan theories, I feel like, is a big category for fandoms on TikTok. With fan accounts, a lot of them are edits. So videos from tour, might be videos from interviews. So it's a great way to get to know more about some of your favorite artists, to follow their fan accounts on TikTok, because then you can see all of that content in one place, which is awesome. I feel like it is a little bit harder to like get to know other individuals on TikTok. It's fun to like send TikToks back and forth. So especially if you can find like another fan who you can just send Harry Styles TikToks.
I also feel like with fandom being on TikTok, there's been like a rise in like fandom influencers, and that's like a that's like a whole conversation. But there are tons of like fandom influencers who are popular fans within certain fandoms. Yeah. Two of my really good friends are actually TikTok influencers within like One Direction fandom, and they just make content based around their favorite fandoms, whether that be like, oh, I'm crocheting this like Harry cardigan based on all my like shows or whatever it is. I also feel like it's a little bit easier to find people who make content that's not edits that is centered around your favorite artist.
That is true. It's a lot more like, I don't want to say lifestyle, but it's, since you have to show your face so much on TikTok, it's not just like a random person that you're never going to really know who's behind the screen type thing. You're going to get to know the fan's personality as well as their favorite artist, which is cool. Last but not least for social media, we have Facebook. So majority of the people watching this video, you probably have a Facebook, but you never use it. Unless you are like over the age of, I don't know, like 40, I feel like. 35, I probably just offended some people. But Facebook, where fandom shop, is on Facebook groups, or they like the artist page. But really where you can meet other fans is Facebook groups, especially if your favorite artist does have an older demographic. You can probably find a fan Facebook group, and that's a great way to meet those people you want to go to shows with, or find someone who happens to have an extra ticket.
I've literally met people on every single one of these platforms. So you just gotta put yourself out there.
Yeah,
don't be afraid, but be safe.
So next we are going to move on to how to create this community when you're going to shows. I think it's super cool because so many of these overlap, where maybe you met someone online and you finally get to meet them when your favorite artist goes on tour, or maybe you met someone at the show who's sitting next to you and you exchange like Twitter handles or whatever. A lot of these really go hand in hand, and once you start one, you're kind of inevitably gonna start the next one.
I think too, a really good way, and a way that I've made a lot of friends, is camping or waiting in line for a while, because if you're all sitting there for hours, you're gonna inevitably talk. And a lot of times fans take care of other fans, so they'll pass out water and snacks, or be like, hey, do you want to make bracelets?
Yeah.
Or do you want to like play this game with us? That's a really good way to meet people, because obviously they like your favorite artist if they're waiting that long to see them. Also, like people that are just like sitting next to you at a show, or like around you in the pit. I met one of my friends at a 5-Star show last year, and then we like became mutuals on Twitter, and then I literally just saw her at 5-Star Cincy the other week.
It is really cool with going to shows. I feel like I have met so many people too from waiting in line. So if you are a big fan, like maybe waiting in line doesn't sound great to you, but you will meet so many cool people. And since they do like the same artists that you do, they'll share some of the same values. And there's still people I'm friends with today that I met almost 10 years ago from waiting in line at a concert, which is crazy.
I also feel like if you literally just like compliment someone on their outfit, they're gonna return the compliment and be really nice about it. At least this has been my experience at shows. It might be different for like certain fandoms. Totally depends on the artist and the fandom, but it's a good way to strike up a conversation if you don't really know how to like approach someone, or like just be like, hey, can we be friends? You know, like that's like kind of weird sometimes. But also if you literally just be like, hey, do you want to be friends? People will probably be like, yeah.
Yeah, like even at we both went to the 5-Star Madison Square Garden show, and I went by myself, and I realized that the girl to the left of me was by herself too, and I was like, oh, hey, like, we should, and I just started asking her questions, and she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad to like now I have a friend. And then we realized the person to the right of me was also there by herself, so then we all three became friends, which was fun. And then you make, friends, and you get to sing along the songs together and all that stuff. It just makes the whole event even more special.
And then you just bonded together and shared this experience, so now you have to be friends.
And then another way to meet other fans and create this community is through artist fan clubs. So nowadays there aren't as many as there used to be. However, we are trying to change that at With the Band, and that was such a special place to meet other fans and talk about the same things that you both love. And I know a lot of people too in those fan clubs like met their roommates they had in college, or even learned what the music industry is and started wanting to learn more about that and went to work in the music industry. So we are trying to bring back fan clubs with fan crews. So we have a whole web app platform that enables an artist to create their own fan club and enables you, the fan, to meet other fans and gain access to your favorite artist. So it's a lot of fun where you get to create your own post as a fan. You can comment on people's posts, DM other fans, and really just talk about your favorite things. So say they just released a new song, you all get to chat about your favorite parts of it. Did he not like it? All of the fun things.
And this is all without the toxicity of Twitter.
Oh my goodness, yes. I will say that has been a big blessing within these fan crews, is that the fans are all so supportive of each other, and there's a zero hate policy. So if you are putting out hate, we will delete you off the platform. So that is a one and done thing. But it's a great way to meet other fans, because then you 100% know, yeah, they are a fan and maybe they're going to the same show as you, and you can meet up there.
If you want to learn more about fan crews, you can watch our What Does With the Band Do video. Then we also have fan matching that we do every once in a while. Kind of depends on album releases and tours and all of that, but we've done Jonas Brothers, Olivia Rodrigo, Taylor Swift, Harry Styles, so many fandoms. And this is basically just where you fill out a Google form. We keep it open for like a couple weeks, and you fill out your age, your favorite song or album, where you live, questions like that. And then we match you based on all of those things. So like, we're not gonna match like a 13-year-old with like a 25-year-old.
Totally.
You're gonna be matched with someone around your age, and if you prefer, we'll probably match you with someone who doesn't live near you, but most of the time we try and match people who at least live in like the same state or the same country. This is also a really safe way to meet other people if you are like scared to reach out to strangers on Twitter. We do not give out any personal info, so the only people that see it are literally me and Sarah Beth and maybe our intern. Yeah. And so we literally give out your email to them. We send you an email and give you 3 questions to start the convo off, and there you go. You have your new fandom bestie.
Yeah, and those honestly have been so special. When we started them was during COVID, when no one knew what to do. Like 99% of their day was just free time. And so we started that, and seeing fans' comments about that has been so special. And still to this day, fans will reach out and be like, oh my gosh, I met a friend through blah, 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 fan matching that y'all did, and we've talked every day since. And that is so special to me. That's one of the main reasons I started with the band, was so we can help fans make friends with each other, because those, for both of us, really, I think some of our best friends, if not all of our best friends, we met through music, and so we just want to help other people do the same. So all of this being said, this is such a fun thing that you can meet people online and shows through your love of your favorite artist. But be safe, be smart. If it seems sketchy, it probably is sketchy. Yeah. So just delete, block, whatever. Be a little courageous, and don't be afraid to say hi to someone in person or reach out via DMs or comment on their post. You know, if you are wanting a friend in the fandom, 9 times out of 10, they are wanting a friend in the fandom too. And you can really create some lifelong friendships from this. So don't be afraid to reach out. And there are definitely events, and even if you're like waiting in the merch booth, there are ways that there's gonna be people around you who are already kind of chatting, and you can just kind of join in the conversation. Know that you are not weird for wanting to make friends in your fandom. Everyone wants to. And it is really so much fun to create these fandom friends, because a lot of them you'll realize will live all over the US or all over the world, and then you start to build this whole community of friends that now you're like, oh yeah, I have a friend in Boston, I have a friend here, I have a friend there.
And then you have free places to stay for all your shows.
Oh my gosh, and you can all travel together. Yeah. It's so much fun.
If you are wondering what makes internet friends so special, you can read our blog that is linked below. It is literally titled Why Internet Friends Are Just as Special as Real Friends.
Yeah.
And we talk about all the things that come along with internet friends, why these relationships are so special, and will bond you for life.
Especially, I feel like a lot of people not in, our age demographic, they don't understand how an internet friend can be a real friend. And so we want to break that stigma that yes, you can meet friends. People meet dating all the time on the internet. Why can't friends in fandoms meet now? We really wish you luck finding friends within your favorite fandom. Let us know if you've met some of your best friends, which platforms you met on. Did you meet them in line at a concert? And if there's something that we did not mention of a way that maybe you met some of your best fandom friends, make sure to comment below for people, because we just want to help everyone make more friends. And we are so excited to help you do that within your favorite fandoms. So until next time, we'll see you soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.